won't bite, but someone's dying tonight.
Oh, hey guys. Sorry about that. As you know, over at boymeetsboyblog.com, we love to have a good time. We love to dance. And before I know it, the camera's rolling and they're telling me, go, go, go. So what you just heard was a snippet of Solomon's, one of the singles off of his new EP. Solomon's a musician, electronic pop guy out in New York. If you haven't heard of him, go and check him out on Twitter at OMG Solomon WTF. He's great. He's interesting and he's funny. And like I said, his new album is out, and that song you just heard was Serial Killer, my favorite so far. So I come to you today to talk about my 10 top rules of the first date. I've had a few people ask me questions about what I thought was right, what you should and shouldn't do, and I figured, hey, rather than write about it, let's make a video out of it. So here are my top 10 rules to the first date, what you should and shouldn't do. These are in no particular order. There's not one that's more important than the other. Just take of it as you will. And if you have anything to suggest, like I say, send it to me. Show it to me in a video and I'll reply back. So this is the first of our ask reply sections, which will be happening a lot more. So rule number 1. Where do we start out with this? Rule number 1, don't talk about what you dislike or hate. No one wants to hear your hang-ups, what you hate in life, what you hate in a guy. Talk to me about what you're passionate about. What drives you? What do you love to do? What are your hobbies? That's what interests me more. I could care less about what you hate and dislike. We can learn that later on in our dating experience. So tell me, what do you like? My biggest thing is music. So I always talk about the latest band I saw or the latest song I heard, and just to share that with someone else because that is what I'm passionate about. And you never know, maybe he loves the same band that you do, or maybe both of you share something quirky or weird. You never know until you actually talk about what you're passionate and you love about. After all, that is the dating experience, right? You want to get to know each other. My number 2 rule of dating is don't talk about your ex. I can't stress that enough. I've been the guy who spoke about his ex and how he did him wrong and all this other stuff. Sob story. I learned. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares. Just talk about you. Talk about where you're at right now in life. Nobody cares about who your ex was. I don't care if he was famous. Just talk about you and get over your ex. Because obviously if you're talking about him, you're not over him. And maybe you shouldn't be on this first date. Number 3 is just go with the flow. Don't feel like you have to have a set plan or agenda. Don't feel like you have to follow it, even if you did. The sporadic date is probably the best date you'll ever have. You never know where you'll end up. Maybe you'll end up going on an hour-long hike and get gelato afterwards. It's fun. You get to talk a lot. You get to see a lot. You get to share a lot about each other. You get to talk about your careers. I mean, that's my biggest thing. Once again, what are you passionate about? Show it to me. And the best way, I think, is just going with the flow and having fun. You never know where you're going to end up, right? So just let it happen. Rule number 4 is meet on neutral grounds. If you're going over to someone's house and the date is at their house, it's not a date. It's probably just a hookup. Probably. Fuck it. It is a hookup. I don't care if he says he's going to cook for you. I believe on going on a first date, going on neutral grounds. That means picking a restaurant or maybe going to the museum, an art show. Anything really where you can just hang out together, where both of you feel comfortable and you don't feel like you're being pressured to do something. So definitely pick a place that both of you feel comfortable with and just go with the flow. Rule number 5, if you are uncomfortable, I always suggest go out with a few friends. Maybe suggest to him, hey, bring some of your friends with you and I'll bring some of my friends with me. And we can meet at a local bar if you're 21 and over and have a drink together, talk, mingle. Maybe it'll turn out great. Maybe it won't. If it doesn't, at least you have your friends to fall back on and you can hang out with them and you still have a great time. But at the same time, you're not uncomfortable. I always think if you are a shy person, the best way is to always hang out with a few friends. I think it opens you up and allows you to relax and, allows you to give you that nudge, nudge, wink, wink you might need and push you in the right direction. Number 6, if you are going to the movies for a first date, I always suggest that make sure you grab a light lunch or dinner beforehand. I believe thoroughly in chatting. I love to get to know people. I love to talk to people. Like I said, I want to know what they're passionate about. Where are they in their life? Where do they want to be in their life? What is their career? What are their career goals? Oh my God. I know, right? I'm like ready to get the U-Haul and let's go get married. No, I just love to genuinely talk to people. I want to know, where do you come from? So I believe going to a movie kills 2 hours of that time you could have spent getting to know the person. Mind you, if you do plan to go see a movie first, then do it afterwards. Catch up, see what you both liked about the movie. But you have to make sure you like the person, and a movie doesn't allow you to really talk to someone other than make out with them, hold their hands. Is he gonna hold my hand? Am I gonna hold his hand? Who's gonna make the first move? See what I mean? You're already sweating it. You don't want that. So get to know each other first, and then go to the movie and see where it goes from there. Number 7, if you aren't feeling it, the guy, if you don't feel like the date is going anywhere you thought it would go, or you just maybe don't like him, or he said something that probably crossed the line and you're just not comfortable anymore, excuse yourself. You're always free to say, you know what, I think I'm going to have to go home. I'm just not feeling this. Be honest about it. If you're not, then I suggest taking another route. You can, nowadays, you have your cell phones. There's a little application both on the iPhones, Androids, pretty much anything that holds an app, this app is available for it. It is a callback number, which you can pre-record your message on there to give you a call back at a certain time if you want. So you excuse yourself to the bathroom, toot, 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 gives you a call and lets you know there's an emergency. That way you can excuse yourself. I always think that's the pussy way out, but some guys can't be honest, so that's the best easy way out. And you don't want to be uncomfortable, and you don't want to make things uncomfortable. I always say don't make some excuse up. Just be honest and say, hey, it's not working out. Let's go somewhere else. Or let's not go somewhere else, right? So rule number 8, this is open to interpretation, I guess. I believe in having a minimum 1 drink on a first date. I think when you drink a little too much to get comfortable, you end up becoming a little bit sloppy. And you end up saying things you probably shouldn't say, or a bad side of you comes out if you're a bad drunk. I don't know. I just always abide by my rule. 1 drink. 1 drink minimum. No drinks. Iced tea. It's perfect. 0 calories. And the Gay Boy Fitness approves of 0 calories. But if you do decide to have a drink, have something light, have something refreshing, and don't feel like you need alcohol in order to calm down or open up and, relieve some of that stress. I'll get back to that later because there's other ways of doing that. Rule number 9. This is probably the biggest question that I've had a few people ask me. It has to do with sex. Do I think having sex on the first date is all right? It's up to you. What's right to you may not be right for me. What's right for me may not be right for you. I believe in doing whatever you want to do on a first date, as long as you're true to yourself and honest and safe. So if you do decide to have sex, please wear a condom. There's too many things, and you don't know what they have. And if you read the last post, you would know that maybe you should be asking those questions about diseases, past sexual partners that were exposed or had HIV or any STD. It's not even HIV anymore, people. It is every motherfucking thing out there. It's your body. Respect it. So if you want to have sex, do it by all means. If you don't. And if the other person is pressuring you, let them know. I don't do that on the first date. And it's up to you. You don't even have to talk to them anymore afterwards. You can just say, you know what? I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go home. The end. Be honest. Rule number 10 is probably my most important rule, definitely. Be yourself. Be who you are. Dress the way you want to dress. Look the way you want to look. Talk the way you want to talk. Be you. That's the most important thing. Don't ever deny who you are or go against what you believe. Like I said, all these rules can go out the window one day, but number 10, always be yourself. That's all anybody can ever ask for. So those are my top 10 first dating rules, and like I said, take of it what you will. If you want to add more, let us know. Add to the comments, suggest, email me at boymeetsboy.blog@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at boymeetsboyblog. Check out my Facebook, become my friend, but join in the motherfucking conversation. And always, always be safe.